Lally got grilled, Proctor No showed. This is the headline for yesterday's evidentiary hearing in the Myles King case. If you didn't have time to watch it or you just want a quick recap, this was another proof that Karen Reed wasn't just a one off bad case. This apparently is a Massachusetts problem, especially at Meatball Morrissey's DA's office. Because yesterday, what we saw on the stand from Adam Lally was a disgrace to any DA office in America. To set the scene, Myles King is accused of unaliving another person in Milton. It's 4 years since it happened. And after the Karen Reed case got proctored, a lot of defense lawyers started looking into what evidence do we have? Did we get everything? Or did we get proctored? So they had an evidentiary hearing yesterday where Rosemary Scapiccio, who is probably one of the best lawyers I have seen in any case I covered. If you go back and watch my coverage of Karen Rintala, you will instantly notice that both Jamie and I fell in love with her because of her heavy Boston accent, and she's just a bulldog. And this lady did it pro bono for Karen Rintala. Karen Rintala was wrongly convicted. It was a hey, let's just disagree so we can get out of here verdict from the jury, in my opinion. But you should go watch that case. That's the first time I saw what the state of Massachusetts will do to get a conviction. And I believe she was also wrongly convicted. Myles King, well, it might be a different story with that guy. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty, of course. But yesterday we were having an evidentiary hearing. And we started out with a little back and forth about that the DA claimed, well, we turned everything over and everything is fine, and they're just asking for discovery they already had. But then we got to the good part. We had Lally called to the stand. Lally's lawyer tried to keep Lally off the stand so he didn't have to answer questions. He wanted to give a statement, but the judge said, get on the stand, get sworn in, answer questions. And what we found out about how ADA Lally runs the show was a disgrace, not only to Lally, but the entire DA's office. Because he didn't do anything. Nothing. Rosemary accused them of withholding evidence for years and that they clearly violated the Rule 14 motion. And Rule 14 is just you have to turn over certain evidence. It's just automatic. That must be turned over. But because Proctor was the lead investigator, imagine my shock when we found out that Lally had asked for 6 search warrants and had gotten partial things from 2 of them. And what did Lally do? Well, Lally talked a lot about he had a system and he checked up and he asked again, but he never, ever got all of those 6 search warrants. He went into something, well, they were attached to something from a grand jury, so they kind of gotten Rule 14 states that the search warrants is automatic evidence that should be turned over to the defense team. They, to this day, as far as I understood, still haven't gotten these search warrants. This isn't just Lally who's an idiot. It's also Proctor, because Proctor was the guy who didn't do it. We know that he hid evidence in the Karen Reed case. Well, we don't know it because it wasn't brought up and he wasn't charged with it. But search warrants, automatic, Rule 14, must go to the defense. Didn't turn it over. Adam Lally, he looked like a little boy who had eaten the last cookie and tried to claim that the dog had taken it, because he was waffling around. One of the things I will have to criticize Scapiccio a little bit about is she keeps asking the same question over and over. She has the answer. She's not going to get a new answer. And the judge got kind of move it along, lady, with her, and she didn't catch that drift. We instantly understood Lally didn't do his job. And all of his talk about, well, I have a system. Well, in your system, do you have any proof that you asked for this evidence again? Do you have any proof that you asked Proctor to turn it over? And he was just like, well, no, I don't know. I didn't look at my case file. You're coming here to testify today about this, and you didn't even look at it. Well, I look at parts of it. And Lally sounded kind of like Bev, because he was sighing worse than Bev. And he seemed kind of like a monster douchebag. Like, you could almost hear the eye rolling he made when she asked questions. This indifference to what should be a clear violation of Rule 14 shows you the DA's office don't give a flying fuck about any of the rules. They just do justice their way. He was on the stand for almost 2 hours, and Scapiccio went at him. Lally claims he requested the files from Proctor 5 times, never ever got them. And then they asked, well, why didn't you do anything? Why didn't you, when you were at meetings with him, why didn't you say it? Well, I didn't do anything. Even when Proctor was right in front of him, he didn't say, hey, I need this. I need to make sure the defendant has this, or my case can fall on the floor. Nah, I don't know. Nah, I don't know. So does the prosecution even have control of their own case files, or is it just hey, uh, yeah, send it over if you like it, or if not, we'll just invert a video here and there. And the judge, that was Peter Kropp. I don't know him. Apparently, him and Aiden has had some kind of run-in before, but he seems to be way different than Bev. He called it a serious concern, and he described this procedure to, or the failure to produce the discovery, as should be a procedure, as a possibly flagrant mistake. And he ordered that both sides sat together, compared the documents, and then try and figure out what is missing. Because the DA's office kept claiming, well, they had everything. And then Scapiccio said, if we have everything, why do you keep turning over new evidence? Why do you say, well, you didn't have this if we had everything? They tried to kind of infer, well, it's new if someone made a little note in the top right corner, then we'll call it a new document. But she wasn't buying it, and Peter Kropp, it seemed like he wasn't buying it either. We will have a new hearing on August 5th. I'll do my best to get another Zoom call link, or Marissa will, because she is the master of the Zoom calls. And I don't know, maybe I'm putting too much into it, but the way the judge worded some of his arguments to both sides, this could be a kind of an awakening based off of what we have seen in the Karen Read case, that the judges, the good judges, might be trying to focus on this systemic failure the DAs and police officers has shown. But to the big twist, Proctor was subpoenaed to testify, but he didn't show up in court. This is the lead agent on this case. It's the lead agent in the Karen Read case, even though they tried to downgrade him in that one. He had the search warrants. He has all the police reports, interviews, arrests. His hands is on everything in this case. And he didn't show up. He was subpoenaed. In Denmark, when we do jury duty, if you're subpoenaed and you had no show, most of the times the prosecution will ask for an arrest warrant put on you so they can go out, grab you at your house, and take you to court to testify. They didn't have time yesterday, and his lawyer swore that he would be in court on August 5th. I can't tell you how much I want to see Rosemary Scapiccio tear a new one on Michael Proctor. Because this isn't just Lally. This isn't just Proctor. This is the Norfolk DA's office that is really, really bad. Discovery violation, defendant's right being totally violated. Will we get the dismissal on some of the cases that Proctor have handled? Because Proctor mishandles everything, and the DA, they don't control anything, and they don't know if you have turned over everything. So we're going to find out on August 5th. Lally will be back getting grilled. Hopefully he has read his note by then, and Proctor will then have to be in the stand after. Facing Rosemary Scapiccio, if you think AJ was tough on certain witnesses, you need to see Rosemary. This lady is a bulldog in the best way you can be. I love her. I love a bulldog. She will tear into him and she will rip him a new one. So you're not surprised. You followed the Karen Read case, but we just got confirmed, in my opinion. Proctor's problems are far from over, and the fallout from the Karen Read case is just growing and growing and growing. Hopefully, this will lead to some changes in the Norfolk DA's office. This is an injustice. Even though you might be guilty, you should have the same basic protections like everyone else. Lally, I can't wait to see your red face back on the stand.